You are not paranoid. You are observant. That uneasy feeling you get around certain people did not come from nowhere. It came from patterns, from silence where support should be, from smiles that never reach the eyes. Some people stay close to you not because they care, but because watching you struggle gives them comfort. They clap when you fall. They stay quiet when you rise. Today you are going to learn the 7 signs a so-called friend secretly resents you. Not guesses, not drama, behavior. By the end of this video, you will either see people more clearly, or you will finally understand why your energy has been drained for so long. Why fake friends are more dangerous than enemies. A clear enemy stands in front of you. A fake friend stands beside you. Marcus Aurelius warned that the most dangerous harm comes from those who wear familiar faces. Psychology agrees. Betrayal hurts more when it comes from inside the circle. You expect loyalty from friends. You lower your guard. You share plans, fears, mistakes, hopes. A fake friend collects this information quietly. They store it. They use it later. This video is not about turning you suspicious. It is about sharpening your awareness. Stoicism teaches you to see reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. Let's begin. They celebrate your failures more than your wins. Watch how they react when things go wrong for you. They lean in. They ask questions. They seem engaged. They remember details. Now watch what happens when something good happens to you. Short replies, delayed responses, forced congratulations, a quick change of subject back to themselves. Psychology calls this malicious envy. They do not want your life. They want proof that trying leads to disappointment. Epictetus taught that people reveal their character under emotional pressure. Your success creates pressure for someone who feels behind. Ask yourself this directly. Who becomes colder when you grow? They constantly disguise insults as jokes. They say things like, "You are sensitive. I was just joking. You cannot take humor." These are not jokes, these are tests. Dark psychology shows that passive aggression allows resentment to leak without confrontation. They enjoy lowering you while keeping their hands clean. A true friend corrects you in private. A fake friend humiliates you in public and calls it fun. Stoicism reminds you that dignity is not something others give you. It is something you protect. If you leave interactions feeling smaller, confused, or embarrassed, pay attention. They compete with you in areas that should never be competitive. Real friendship has no scoreboard. There is no quiet tally of who is ahead, no inner race, no need to prove worth. Yet a fake friend turns your life into a silent competition. You mention a small win. They immediately counter with something bigger. You share progress. They redirect attention to themselves, not openly, subtly. Psychology calls this covert rivalry. It appears calm on the surface, but underneath it is driven by insecurity. They are not trying to beat you publicly. They are trying to protect their internal ranking. Stoicism teaches that comparison is a shortcut to misery. Marcus Aurelius warned that measuring yourself against others makes your peace dependent on outcomes you do not control. A fake friend violates this principle daily. Notice the pattern. They only compete in areas where your growth threatens their identity. Your confidence challenges their self-image. Your discipline exposes their stagnation. Your improvement reminds them of what they are avoiding. Ask yourself something uncomfortable. When you improve, do they feel inspired or irritated? That reaction tells you everything. They never defend you when you are not present. Loyalty is revealed when you are not in the room. A fake friend avoids defending you because it costs them social comfort. They would rather remain neutral than risk alignment. Psychology explains this through social self-preservation. They prioritize fitting in over standing up. So when someone criticizes you, mocks you, or distorts your actions, they stay silent. They nod. They listen. They later claim ignorance. I did not want to get involved. Stoicism rejects this excuse completely. Epictetus believed that character is defined by what you tolerate. If someone allows disrespect toward you, they are participating in it. And here is the darker layer. Sometimes they enjoy hearing others tear you down. It confirms doubts they already carry quietly. Ask yourself this carefully. Who protects your name when it offers them no benefit? They withhold support at critical moments. Fake friends are present during stability, absent during struggle. When you are confident, they are around. When you are uncertain, they vanish. Psychology refers to this as selective presence. They want access to your energy, not responsibility for your reality. They do not want to carry weight. They want entertainment, validation, distraction. Stoicism values endurance and mutual responsibility. Seneca wrote that prosperity reveals who admires you. Hardship reveals who loves you. Pay attention to timing. Who disappears when you need encouragement? Who reappears when you regain balance? Consistency is not dramatic, it is rare. They resent your growth and try to keep you familiar. This is the most painful realization. They did not like you for who you were becoming. They liked you for who you were. Your old version made them comfortable. Your new boundaries disrupt their access. So they resist your growth emotionally. They say you changed. They say you became cold. They say you think you are better. Psychology explains this as identity threat. Your growth forces them to confront their own stagnation. Stoicism teaches that growth often requires solitude, not because you reject people, because not everyone can follow. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you must accept losing relationships that no longer align with virtue. Ask yourself this honestly. Who benefits if you stay the same? Clarity without bitterness. Stoicism does not encourage revenge. It encourages adjustment. You do not argue. You do not accuse. You do not explain. You observe patterns. You reduce access. You protect your inner world. Psychology confirms that people who thrive on hidden hostility lose influence when reactions disappear. Distance exposes truth faster than confrontation. You stop oversharing. You stop seeking validation. You stop expecting loyalty where none exists. This is not coldness. This is discipline. Here is the truth people avoid because it is uncomfortable. Most friendships are not built on values. They are built on proximity, shared routines, shared struggles, shared limitations. When one person grows, that invisible contract breaks. Psychology shows that many relationships exist to regulate identity. You play a role, they play a role. Balance is maintained as long as no one changes too much. Growth disrupts that balance. You begin to speak with more clarity. You stop explaining yourself. You say no without guilt. You invest in discipline rather than distraction. This makes people uneasy, not because you harmed them, because you reminded them of what they are avoiding. Stoicism teaches that most people prefer familiarity over truth. They cling to patterns because patterns feel safe. A fake friend does not hate you personally. They resent the discomfort your growth creates inside them. That resentment stays hidden because it is easier to disguise than confront. Why they try to keep you the same people often bond over shared weakness, complaints, excuses, jokes about stagnation, mutual avoidance of responsibility. When you step away from that energy, you break the agreement. They lose a mirror that made them feel normal, so they pressure you back into your old role, not through commands, through guilt. You changed. You are distant. You do not care anymore. These are not observations. They are attempts to restore comfort. Stoicism reminds you that guilt is often a tool used by those who benefit from your compliance. Ask yourself this: do they miss you, or do they miss access to you? Why you feel lonely, even before letting go. This is something few people talk about. You often feel alone before you distance yourself. You notice conversations feel shallow. You stop sharing ideas because they fall flat. You sense tension where there used to be ease. Psychology calls this relational misalignment. You are still present physically, but no longer aligned mentally. Stoicism teaches that loneliness does not come from being alone. It comes from being surrounded by people who do not see you. This is why holding on feels heavier than letting go. Why clarity hurts before it heals. Awareness is not comforting at first. It removes illusions. You realize some laughter was nervous, some loyalty was conditional, some closeness was convenience. This creates grief, not for the person, for the version of the relationship you believed in. Stoicism does not tell you to suppress that grief. It tells you to accept it without becoming bitter. Psychology confirms that clarity reduces anxiety long-term, even when it increases discomfort short-term. Pain fades. Self-respect stays. Why you do not need closure? This is where many people get stuck. They want explanations, apologies, confessions. But fake friends rarely admit resentment. Doing so would require self-awareness. Stoicism teaches that closure is internal. It comes from understanding, not agreement. When patterns repeat, explanations become unnecessary. You stop asking why. You start deciding how much access someone gets. That is power. Why outgrowing people is not betrayal. Many viewers struggle with this thought. I feel disloyal. I feel cold. I feel selfish. These feelings come from conditioning. You were taught that loyalty means staying the same. Stoicism rejects that completely. Loyalty without virtue is stagnation. You are allowed to evolve. You are allowed to choose peace. You are allowed to leave dynamics that quietly erode you. Psychology supports this. Healthy separation is not abandonment. It is self-preservation. The moment everything shifts, there is a moment where something changes internally. You stop trying to be understood by those committed to misunderstanding you. You stop shrinking to keep others comfortable. You stop performing familiarity. You become quieter, not out of fear, out of clarity. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the strongest person is the one who no longer needs to explain their strength. What comes after? After clarity, space opens. You meet fewer people, but better ones. Conversations deepen. Respect replaces noise. presence replaces performance. You realize that peace was never missing. It was being crowded out. You are not losing people. You are losing illusions. And that loss is not empty. It is clean. It is light. Growth will always cost you relationships built on comfort. It will always reward you with alignment. Stoicism teaches you to accept this without anger. Psychology teaches you that this is not unusual. It is necessary. Sit with this question honestly. Who in your life knows the old you better than the real you? That answer will tell you who belongs in your next chapter. If parts of this video felt personal, that is not coincidence. It means you are becoming more aware. Awareness is uncomfortable. It is also freedom. If you want more content that sharpens your perception and strengthens your inner discipline, subscribe. New videos every week. And reflect on this question. Who has access to you that has not earned it? That answer changes everything.